While the Mark I Audi TT was a watershed moment in the automotive industry and for the brand, its follow-up is arguably one of the most sought-after sports cars that people buy secondhand. Completely redesigned from the ground up, stylish, powerful, performance, again, an all-in-one package, but it looks radically different from the original. This is the Mark II Audi TT, and welcome to Why Buy. Let's jump in.
The real joy of that 3.2 VR6 engine is the sound. Compared to the Mark I Audi TT, the 1.8 liter, it's nice, it sounds good, it's a turbo engine. It just doesn't make it compared to the 3.2.
So let's talk about the Mark II Audi TT and its potential to be a future classic. Now, I know what you're thinking, the car's still relatively new, but when you consider the development history of the Mark II TT, it shares a lot of similarities with the Mark I, which a lot of people regard today as a modern classic car. So let's kind of look at the development of the Mark II and why it was a moment where Audi planted its flag again and said, we can innovate and do something spectacular.
This episode is in partnership with Why Buy Professional Documentation. We offer Edmonton and Calgary businesses video production and digital branding services. For more information, please visit whybuypd.com.
In August of 2004, Audi set the stage for the unveil of the Mark II Audi TT. But unlike the Mark I, where the concept looked like the production model almost identical, the Mark II was radically different when it launched in 2007. In fact, the only thing that really stood out from the launch in 2004 was the fact that they were committed to using more aluminum parts, kind of a signal flare of Audi's commitment to innovation. The first actual unveiling at the Tokyo Motor Show in 2005 showed this kind of shooting brake concept, which it wasn't until the year after, in 2006, when Audi said, okay, officially, this is what it's going to look like, and they dubbed it with the PQ35 platform, which again is a shared chassis with multiple VW and Audi products, very much akin to the Mark I Audi TT, where to minimize and I guess you could call it lower the price tag, they used a lot of similar components with different models to make the car more accessible. So the Mark II Audi TT wasn't just about looks. It actually changed quite a bit to improve performance and handling dynamics. It was 3 inches wider, 5 inches longer, and like the Mark I TT, it still came with the practicality that you would want. A lot of room for cargo space, and while it wasn't dramatically bigger than the Mark I TT, it was a little bit more usable space and a little bit bigger of a car so that it could handle higher speeds.
At first, I was never an Audi person, but I did own some VW products. When I was looking into buying an Audi TT Mark II, I knew I wanted the 3.2 VR6. When I was a kid, I remember watching Top Gear or reviews of the famous Golf R32, and I knew the Audi was like a fancy version of that Golf R32. Mine was a little bit harder to find because I wanted a manual transmission, Quattro, the Bose sound system, and also the 3.2 VR6. Most people here in America would choose a 2-liter convertible option automatic. Some people will buy them to go on a track, to daily drive them, keep them for a summer vehicle. They like the interior. For many, many reasons, this vehicle will reach a wide range of buyer. In my case, I didn't have many options. I didn't have the luxury to shop left and right and be picky about the car I wanted. Me and one of my friends were basically looking for one of those for days and weeks. And one day I found one for sale. The mileage was quite a bit high, like 150,000 kilometers, but the price was right. Like anything in life, when you look for it, you don't find any, but when you don't look, that's when it all comes to you. And that's a little bit what happened to me. I was looking on different websites, different platform online, and I found that one and I jumped on it right away. I knew it was a deal I couldn't miss. And suddenly, a few weeks after, a few other Audi TT Mk2 with a 3.2 standard Quattro start doing surface here and there. It made me feel like I wanted to buy another one in better condition with lower kilometers, but I had to do what I bought. That 3.2 sounds amazing. That's one of the main selling features of the engine. And also it's a cast iron block, making it pretty much indestructible. If you have a little bit of money or extra budget, those engines can be turboed for some serious power. I choose that engine over a 2-liter TT or TTS model for the simple reason that it has extra torque, it sounds amazing, and the engine is really solid overall. In my opinion, if you're looking for the model that you should buy that's going to hold its value, and which is the most sought after, is a TTRS model with a 2.5 turbo, 350 horsepower. That one is the absolute beast of the TT Mk2.
So in a nutshell, if you're looking at buying a secondhand Mk2 Audi TT, just maybe consider that the condition it's in is a little more important than the mileage. You might think you're saving yourself a little bit of headache because you're getting a low mileage car, but depending on the owner or owners who had it previously, if it has a good history of maintenance and service records that you can audit and make sure everything is well cared for, you might be better off with a higher mileage car, even though it seems like that might not be the best choice. But anyways, what's it like to drive?
I personally own a Mark 1 Audi TT and a second generation Audi TT. And something that really stands out when you're driving it is you can feel that that one is more stable to the ground. It's a little bit wider, it handles a little better. And the other one, the cockpit is really fantastic, but this one I think they really did a good job at making you feel like you're part of the vehicle. It really fits like a glove around you. I don't want to make anyone angry, but in my opinion, they really did a good job at upgrading the handling of the Mark II compared to the Mark I.
The Mark II Audi TT is a great car to showcase a lot of innovations for Audi at the time. For example, mag-right suspension that would instantaneously adapt to road conditions and offer a better blend between sportiness and comfort. Now, a lot of people didn't option this because of the extra costs, and it did have a tendency to fail, but we'll get to that. Another cool innovation that they integrated was a retractable spoiler, where at certain speeds, it would deploy to keep the rear end of the car more stable, but the driver could still have manual control with a button to raise or lower it however they saw fit. It's kind of a cool gadget to have on a car, this little hidden spoiler that, you know, the car could be more subdued, you press a button and it pops up. It's pretty cool.
Something I really like about this car is those Alcantara seats. And with the higher sidewall, when you take a corner I should say, it actually really keeps you in the seat. The flat bottom steering wheel compared to the Mark I Audi TT gives it a little bit more sportiness. And this steering wheel is actually the same one in the Audi R8. It has hand control for the volume, radio channel, kind of basic control, but it was a big upgrade back then. My Mark I Audi TT, if you saw the other video, it has actually white interior, which makes it a little bit bigger. Like anything in life, something black or like a black shirt will make it you feel a little bit smaller. And something I really enjoy in this car, that's something I really like in all the sports vehicle I own, is it really feels like you're in a small space, you're part of the vehicle. And having a whole black interior just makes it you're surrounded by the vehicle just like a glove. Overall, Audi always been good at making their vehicle luxury. Like I remind you, those vehicles were going for close to $60,000 Canadian. That's a lot of money. So you're expecting to have quite a bit of luxury for that money. Again, we have the recall of the brushed aluminum, just like our Mark 1, on the vents, on the shift knob, which I changed, on the door, or even the exit handle. In any generation of the Audi TT, the rear seats are not really practical. They're basically there to make the car be cheaper for insurance and falls into another category. If you go with an option like I did of removing your rear seat, you will have a ton of cargo space. Compared to the Mark 1 Audi TT, overall the Mark 2 is a little bit upgraded version on every aspect, but not everything is perfect. Like for example, in my car, the handbrake cover comes off. It's an easy fix, but still not something you would expect from a $60,000 car. Or here, the button to unlock and lock the car, mine can easily be popped out. And not only that, the latch for the hood is easily removable. This piece of plastic here, this is the hood latch. This piece for the Mark 1, Mark 2, and Mark 3 is just a simple piece of plastic. If you buy one, I highly recommend that you go gentle when you open your hood. Those break. There's plenty of options online for replacement parts, and there's even a brushed aluminum version you can buy, which is way more solid. One of the very common issue with the Audi Mark 2 TT is this, there's a cylinder that released the glove box slowly, and then mine, I fixed it. But when you have the issue, it will open about that big and will take forever to open. It's an easy fix. There's YouTube videos about that. 6-speed again, really short gear, made for racing. It's a race car, race oriented. And to make the experience even more connected, like I said, being connected to the vehicle is really important. You need to enjoy every ride. It's not just a point A to point B. It's a vehicle that you need to have fun and enjoy every single moment. I decided to go with a quick shift kit with a heavy shift knob, and I lowered it 2 inches, and I also changed the shifter bracket bushing, and all that makes it just a little notchy, a little closer gear, and makes the shifting experience just a beauty. Something I really like about this car, something simple and subtle, is just the height of the window. It makes the space here really small, and when you have tint windows and your windows rolled up all the way, it makes it really private. Earlier, we were talking about magnetic ride and also how the wing, the spoiler, can be activated with the push of a button. The buttons are here, really easy to control, right in front of the shifting knob. You have a button for the mag ride. If you want to turn your traction control off, your hazard, your wing, your spoiler, everything is easy access and really one finger away. Having the option of activating the spoiler yourself, to me, it's a really good show-off feature. When I ride in the city and it's not really busy and there's a lot of people around walking, I like to press on it and have it out just for the show. And in my case, I even put a bigger wing, a carbon fiber wing, would really stand out. But not only stand out, that vehicle is actually really good at holding on the road, but that spoiler really makes the car planted. A common concern about putting a bigger spoiler is with the extra weight and downforce, it might activate a sensor, or it might break the motor that activates that wing. In my case, I tested and it didn't break. Just like the Mark 1 Audi TT, this Mark 2 is equipped with a fantastic Bose sound system. It sounds amazing. The fact it's hatchback makes the sound resonate from the back to the front and makes you just be part of the speakers. One of the common issues though with this sound system, not every Mark II, but some of them had issues with water infiltration that would affect the amplifier in the back. Audi made a recall to fix the issue, but not all of them has been fixed. So if you buy a Mark II Audi TT with the Bose sound system, maybe it's something you should take a look at. This Audi TT Mark II is equipped of the famous and luxurious mag ride, and in my case, it fell. This gadget, basically, it's a suspension. With the press of a button, it sends electricity to the oil in the coil and then makes it softer or harder. Mine fell, and it could be quite a bit expensive to replace. Lucky for you, there's plenty of aftermarket coilovers solution to replace your mag ride if it fails, which I did. I bought a KW V1 suspension.
So why do people buy Mark II Audi TTs? Why do people buy these sports cars in general? And I think, like myself, the reason is a lot to do with that they're kind of a hybrid everything sports car. You have something that is luxurious, practical, powerful, stylish, and it's kind of that everything car that you can live with, especially if you only had a budget, say, for one vehicle. That's why these cars are so popular. And especially the Mark II TT, it's one of those practical performance sports cars that has a hatch with a ton of cargo space, has the styling that, let's be real here, people probably mistake this for an R8 more than they do an actual Audi TT. And that's kind of what's unique about these. They're not overly expensive sports cars that you could live with and drive every day. So one of the common things that enthusiasts like to do with the Mark II Audi TT is extract more performance from it. And in typical Audi fashion, from factory they come pretty subdued, and it doesn't take much to get a good bump in horsepower.
Talking about power, this awesome 3.2 VR6 engine has 250 horsepower and 236 foot-pound of torque. Compared to the Mark I turbo 1.8 liter engine, this engine delivers torque right away when you press on the gas. One of the things I did a Unitronic Stage 1 Plus, which gives me, instead of 250 horse, 265, and brought the torque to 236 to 252, and the remapping made it just a little better. The Mark II Audi TT is reliable, especially with the 3.2 liter VR6 configuration, but it's expensive to turbo and modify for high horsepower. A turbo engine, in return, it's easy to tune, might make a little bit more power easily, but reliability goes a little bit out the window. Talking about maintenance and reliability, when I first bought this vehicle and the hood was open and I would press on the gas, I noticed the engine would move a little bit. Usually that's an indicator of the engine mount not working properly or being damaged. In my case, they were actually broken. I decided to buy some 034 Motorsport upgraded engine mount. Not only the engine feels really solid and it delivers more power to the ground quicker, but it creates a little bit of vibration, which I really enjoy in the cab. It makes you feel like you're really in a sports car. Another thing under the hood, that big red thing here, it's an air intake. It's mainly for the sound. It doesn't bring much more power, but like I said, I'm a guy who's in the vehicle for the experience. And the sound is one of your senses that it's really good to stimulate to if you want to feel enjoyment. And this intake paired with my exhaust just makes it way better. In case you're wondering, where's the battery? Well, the 3.2 Mark I and the 3.2 VR6 Mark II actually has a battery in the back, which proves it's really a sports car. If you want to boost it, there's actually two poles here you can access, the positive and the negative. The 3.2 liter V6 engine in this car sounds amazing. I really wanted to bring the experience to another level, so I decided to change the air intake. But not only that, I changed the exhaust.
This episode is in partnership with Why Buy Professional Documentation. We offer Edmonton and Calgary businesses video production and digital branding services. For more information, please visit whybuypd.com.
I went with a non-resonated catback Cobra Sport exhaust. It's actually a company from UK. It was really challenging to put my hand on one of those because when I reached out to them, they told me they're not selling anything to America. After a hard negotiation, they decided to send me one, and I'm really glad I fought for it because it sounds absolutely amazing. I've done a lot of cosmetic modification to this car. Some are just for visual, but some others are actually practical, just like this aero kit. I got the front lip, the side skirt, and a rear diffuser made by a company here in Calgary called Infamous Aero.
And what's more about, Audi and the Mark II in general is that I think it's for people who appreciate design. It's not just about the styling of the way the car looks on the outside, but the interior aesthetics as well. The way things feel when you touch them, interacting with the controls, the layouts. There's something about the challenge of simplicity that Audi does really, really well. And I think that's why people like them so much, is you can't quite put your finger on it. It's not that it's loud and adorned with all these kind of glitter and glitz and glamour and gadgets. Everything functions in a way where you feel connected to the car and it's got a utilitarian purpose. In other words, if it's there, it serves a function for the driver. And that's why I think people love these cars.
For me, this vehicle is very special because I worked on it with a friend of mine. That means a lot to me. And we found it, went and bought it together. Everything that's been done in this vehicle, we've been kind of partnership and working on it together. We had brainstorms, talks about ideas, and everything that's been done is a mixed match of our ideas. So for me, it's not just a vehicle, it's also the story behind it and the friendship behind it. In case you don't know who I'm talking about my good friend, Brian Kell. He owns the TTRS in the other videos made by YBuy. He shared the same passion as me. And I met him many years ago, and he kind of a father figure for me. When we talk about cars, I know he's the man, and he's gonna support me in my ideas. In fact, not only he suggested me to buy a 3.2 VR6, but he bought a Mark 1, and when I sat in his vehicle, I knew I wanted one as well. And we actually went and bought that car together.
And I think to top it all off, the Mark II Audi TT, really in a nutshell, stands out from the crowd. Much like the Mark I, it's a car that when people see it parked on the road, they just kind of get excited and inquisitive. They're like, oh, what is that? Because it's not your conventional sports car. It looks like something else. It's kind of that everything car that I think has that universal appeal because not only does it look cool, but it seems practical in that it serves a function. I think it's just an easy way to tell yourself that, yeah, I could have that, it makes sense. Now, while the Mark II Audi TT didn't necessarily push the boundaries and gain the notoriety of some other iconic models, it's still a really good representation of Audi pushing the envelope in terms of design and getting recognition not just from auto enthusiasts, but their peers, other designers, journalists. This is a car that consistently has stood out for them as maybe not a halo car, but a consistent, awesome sports car.
If you're looking to buy an affordable, sporty car, all-wheel drive with plenty of power with a really good sound, I really suggest you buy a Mark II Audi TT with a 3.2. Even though they have few flaws, they're really worth the money.
Bottom line, the Mark II Audi TT is classic Audi. It's the perfect blend of something that's sporty, it's got some utility, it's got some luxury. It kind of has all the elements of what you would want in the perfect sports car. And that's why I think it has such a wide appeal to so many different car enthusiasts. And really, it's a timeless design. Just like the Mark I think it will hold up. So anyways, if you thought this video was helpful, please like and subscribe, show your support, and thanks for watching.
What's the retail on one of those?
More than you can afford, pal.
That was not rehearsed.
I would like to give you a few tips to watch for about this vehicle flaws. So a really common issue is the ground fault in the rear light harness. It overheats and burns in the harness itself. There's videos on YouTube available to know how to bypass that system and solve the issue, but it's something to keep in mind. Another issue with the Mark II Audi TT is the rear caliper seizing. I would highly suggest you test it before putting it on to make sure it's holding. Find a hill, pull the handbrake, and test it. Make sure they hold. Another common issue with the Mark II Audi TT is the air conditioning failing. It might just need a gas recharge. Don't panic and buy a condenser and a compressor. The last issue I would recommend you look after if you buy one of those cars is in the Outtakes system, there's a filter and sometimes it gets gunked up. Outtakes is a front-wheel drive bias system, but the system is always ready to deliver power to the rear wheel at any time. If you want to test if your Outtakes is working properly, take the traction control off, go on the road where there's no one around, and go from a standstill and accelerate hard. Your front wheel should spin a little bit. If your rear wheel isn't engaged, the system just might need a clean up. Or in the worst case, you'll need to buy a new pump. Technical issue? What's going on? What did I do wrong here? What the? Oh no, it's the wrong car key. That's my Mark 1. Here's the red one. What's going on? What? It doesn't work anymore. It was a well roundup of luxuriousness. Luxuriousness? Is that a word?
Luxuriousness.
Holy. I'll say, at high speed, it makes you glued to the floor, to the pavement. This aero kit I got on my car is actually indestructible, and it's really practical.
Indestructible.
What did I say?
Indestructible.
This aero kit is indestructible. Another common issue with the Mark II Audi TT is the air conditioning failing. It might just need an air refill, a gas, what's it called again?
Recharge.
Gas recharge. A common issue with the Mark is the air conditioning failing. It might just need a gas boost.
When you say it so many times, you start to sound crazy.
I don't panic with buying a so easy. Another common issue with the Mark II is a front-wheel drive bias. And when it feels a slip, it sends power to the rear differential, making the rear wheel spin forward.
So close.
Either you buy this Mark II Audi TT for a race vehicle, luxuriousness. Luxuriousess is not a real word, I make that up every time. This is the right car. Am I having... Never happened to me before. No, it worked. I don't know what's going on. I must be doing something wrong here. The nice thing with the Mark II Audi TT is like when you drive a pedal bike, some take their seats out, some you know where I'm going, right? Something I really enjoy about this Mark II Audi TT is how high is the door. Not because I put my hand on it, but when I have tint windows and my window is rolled all the way up, it's just a little bit more private. It makes you more like private. I said it twice. Being an hatchback, making the rear part of the front of the vehicle, you're just in a big, small bubble. Big and small doesn't make sense. A nice feature about my Audi TT Mark II is it's a little bit like a pedal bike. Some people park somewhere and take their seats with them. I can take my handbrake cover, or if I feel like challenging the thief, I can take my lock and unlock button. And if I really want to screw with them and they can't even open the hood to jump it, I take my hood latch with me. Hey, bye-bye. It's you again. My favorite company in Canada and America. The best of all. Don't forget.
What is this? This is a 2023 season opener. I hear like 4 people. We're gonna go one more time. If I don't hear you, you guys all gotta go home. I'm not happy. 1, 2, 3. Are you excited for Girls There we go. That sounds better. 3, 2, 1. Red. Give it the beans. Alrighty, 3, 2, 1. Okay, ow. We got a Mustang. Go. I'll see you later. Thank you for coming. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go! I honestly didn't know that was a V8. Oh wow! Give it up for the person! Go! I got a question. When you drink your coffee, do you leave it in the cup holder? Or do you just hold it? Bro.
This episode is in partnership with Why Buy Professional Documentation. We offer Edmonton and Calgary businesses video production and digital branding services. For more information, please visit whybuypd.com.